Good morning, students. Last class we have discussed about 13.1 exercise of conditional probability. Conditional probability, each and every problem I discussed, because one problem different types of there. So to understand yourself, I did every problem. So in that more 2 problems are there, I feel so. 13 problems we have completed. Let us do 14 and 15 also, then we'll move to the next concept. The first concept word is what? Conditional probability, which we did. That conditional probability means E given F, probability of E given F can be read as probability of E intersection F by probability of F. Okay, because so many problems we did, I feel that you won't forget it. Okay, anyhow, now let us move to the problem number 14. Given the 2 numbers appearing on throwing 2 dice are different, find the probability of the event. The sum of the numbers on the dice is 4. That is what is given. So given the 2 numbers appearing on throwing 2 dice are different, find the number of the event, find the probability of the event. The sum of numbers on the die is 4. That is what is given now. Now, so let us see now what, first of all, how many dice are rolled? 2 dice are rolled. So 2 dice are rolled means what? 2 dice are rolled. 2 dice are rolled means n of, this implies n of s is equal to, I told you, when a die is rolled, the number of sample points are 6. Like the 2 dice are rolled means 6 into 6, that is equal to 6 square, that is equal to 36. 6 square, that is equal to 36. N of s is equal to 36. Now, first of all, whether we will use it or not, that is different matter. First, 2 dice are rolled means in your mind 36 sample points will be there. The 36 structure in your mind must be there. Okay. Now, what we will do now? Let A, we will say one event. So, what we will say now? He has given that the sum of numbers on the dice is 4. Let, like that we write, let A be the event. Let A be the event. Let A be the event. The sum on dice is, the sum on dice is 4. You tell me, what are the chances of, out of 36, the sum on the dice is 34. So A is equal to set of all sample points 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2. Correct only, no? So the sum on the dice is 4. The sum of the numbers on the dice is 4. That is, see, first of all we have to see that. So the sum on the dice is 4 means how many will come? We have to see now. Okay, like that. How many will be there now? 2, 2. Next 3, 1. That's all. More we cannot get it. 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. This is the 3 only possible. Okay. Now another event will take B. What is B now? We should get, given that the numbers appearing on the 2 dice are different. Okay. Let and B be the event. And B be the event. And B be the event that 2 numbers on the dice, the 2 numbers on the dice is different. How many such will be there? Directly I will write. So many will be there. This implies n of B. Here how much you say n of A? N of A is equal to 3. 1, 2, 3. N of B, how much he said? What is said, you see? When two dice are rolled, the numbers on the two dice must be different. What does it mean? So total numbers are 36 when two dice are rolled. In that, same numbers how many are there? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Only 6 numbers are there which are same. So that implies n of b is total number of chances 36 minus if you remove 6, then how many will get? 30. So 30 are two different numbers. My dear students, understood, you know? If it is small means I used to show. If it is big means technically I am explaining that what you have to learn. You cannot write 30 by sitting there. Okay? So therefore 36 total are there. Same or 6 is there. Number on the two dice are same. That we call as doublet also. So 36 minus 6, 30 numbers are there which are different on the two dice. Okay, now the problem is what? We have to see now. Any intersection is there first of all, you see? N of directly A intersection B. So conditional probability means intersection you want. A intersection B. A intersection B means what is common? Except same, everything is common. Except same is how much here? 2, 2. 2, 2 won't be here. In this 30, 2, 2 won't be there. So 1, 3 will be there, 3, 1 is there because different. So A intersection B here also 1, 3, comma 3, 1. So this implies N of A intersection B. How much? 2. My dear students, you understood. N of A intersection B is equal to 2. Now, what is now we have to do? Now, so what is asking now? P of A given B is asking P of A given B. A means the sum on the two dice must be 4 you should get, provided given that the numbers on the two dice are different. Okay. So P of A given B, which can be written as N of A intersection B by N of B, also you can write. Correct? N of A intersection B, N of B, or N of P of A intersection B by P of B. Any one of these two, same one. So here N of A intersection B is how much? 2. N of B is how much? 30. 2 by 30 means how much? 1 by 15. Over problem. So while doing the problem, first you read the problem, then part wise you do the problem. The final conclusion you write, then you never miss the problem, you will get it. So first, when two dice are rolled, immediately when I heard it, then immediately I wrote N of S is equal to 6 square 36. Next, what is said? Let A be the event, the sum of the dice is 4 is set. So immediately what are the chances of getting sum 4 on the two dice I thought? Then it is 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. So N of A is equal to B I wrote. Next, B is the event of the two numbers on the dice are different. Dice are. Let B be the event that the two numbers on the dice are different. Different numbers will be there. Total 36 is there. Same dice, same numbers on the two dice are 6. So 36 minus 6, 30 will be there. So N of A intersection B means common. Common means what? The sum 4 must be there. Again the number must be different. So 1, 3, 3, 1 is like that. So N of A intersection by 2. And we are asked to from the given problem, P of A given B, N of A intersection by N of B, that is equal to 2 by 30, that is equal to 1 by 15. Okay, let us move to the next problem, problem number 15 now. Okay, we have completed problem number 14 now. So let us move to the problem number 15. Okay. So problem number 15 means what? Again we will see now what is given, what we have to do it. Okay. Okay. What is given? Consider the experiment of the throwing a die. Consider the experiment of throwing a die. If a multiple of 3 comes up, throw the die again, and if any other number comes, toss a coin. Find the conditional probability of the event. The coin shows a tail given that at least one die shows a 3. So that is the very important now. So he said that find the probability of one of the event, the coin shows a tail, that is 1, at least one die shows 3, these are there. Now let us see. Now what is happened now, I will tell you. See, when the problem is given like that, you first understand, yes, I am having one die in my hand. That die I rolled. When I rolled, suppose number 3 appears, I will write here. Number 3 appears on the, when a die is rolled, again you have to die a roll. Again you have to throw a die. Again if I throw a die, what number will get? You may get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chances are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, the number of chances of getting first die comes means 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. These are the chances. Suppose if first when I throw a die, if you get a number 3. Suppose if you don't get a number 3. So if you don't get a number 3 means what? It may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 4, it may be 5, it may be 6. Any one of these. Except 3, anyone can get it. If you don't get a number 3, then what condition is given? You should toss a coin. If you toss a coin. If you toss a coin, what chances will be there? Head, tail, tail. Suppose first time instead of 1, 3 has appeared, then coin may be shown head and tail. Suppose 2 has come means here also head and tail. 4 has shown means here head and tail. 5 shows here means head and tail. 6 shows here means head and tail. So now tell me how many chances are there here again? 1 comma head, 1 comma tail, 2 comma head, 2 comma tail, 3 comma head, 4 comma head, 4 comma tail, 5 comma head, 5 comma tail, 6 comma head, 6 comma tail. These are the chances. So now all these chances are nothing but sample points. All these chances are nothing but sample points. I told you, first of all, let us find out the sample points by seeing like this. So technically understood, if I throw a die first time, if I get a number 3, again I have to throw a die. When again I have to throw a die, then I will get 6 possibilities. So it may be 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. Why 3? After 3 coming only, second time die will throw. That's why this combination. Suppose if you don't get 3 and if you get 1, it rolled 1, then I should toss a coin. If I toss a coin, chances are getting either head and tail. 2 chances are there. Why you should get only 1? It may be 2, it may be 4, it may be 5, it may be 6. Like this. So chances are there. So totally how many has come? You tell me, my dear students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, N of S is equal to 16. Okay, N of S, these are all sample points in a sample space, if you say like that. N of S is equal to 16. So, these are the possible sample points. Now, let us go move to the problem. In this, first what is said, find the conditional probability of the event, the coin shows a tail. Okay, let A be the event, let A be the event that a coin shows a tail, So that is the given event. Let A be the event that coin shows a tail. So how many are there? You tell me that coin shows a tail. Okay, see here you did not ask. Here already sample points you wrote. Coin tail. Look here, this is tail is there. Here tail is there. Here tail is there. Here tail is there. Here tail is there. That you write here. That's all. So therefore, A is equal to set of sample points are 1 comma 10, 2 comma 10, 3 comma 10, 4 comma, sorry, no 3, 4 comma 10, 5 comma 10 and 6 comma 10. These are the chances. This implies n of A is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My dear students, what is given as in that as a here. So number working is very important in probability. Simply if you write n of A is equal to 5 means it won't work out. That is the reason why I am doing each and every problem like this, because some problems if I do means you will come to know how to write. Then I can do the direct problems. Okay na? My dear students, the way, the pattern how I am writing, like that only you should write. Okay, when a die, when this is as per the data, the number of sample points, like that you write n of s is equal to 16. Let A be the event that a coin shows a tail. What are the chances from the given sample points you see? That you write. It is easy. So you need not to think about it. Next, what is B now? He said that given that at least one die shows a 3. Okay, let B be the event and B be the event and B be the event that at least one die shows 3, a number 3, shows a number 3, shows a number 3. So that you should let B be the event. Let B be the event that at least one die shows a number 3. So at least if 2 also there means I don't have, at least one should show 3. So that is B is equal to sample points. You tell me, at least one number means all will come, these all are 3 are there, So therefore it is nothing but 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3. At least one means 2 also, no problem. 3 comma 4, 3 comma 5, okay na, 3 comma 6, like this. How many are there? 6 are there. So this implies n of B is equal to 6, my dear student. Now A intersection B, now you tell me, what is A intersection B? At least one tail must be there and 3 must be there. Tail must be there, at least number 3 must be there. It's not possible. Why? 3 there means again die only will come, no coin will toss. When there is no coin will toss, 3 head won't be there. Is there? You see? Anywhere is there? 3 with that 3 head, like nothing is there. So A intersection B is equal to 5. This implies n of A intersection B is equal to 0, my dear student. You should remember this. Okay, there is no common. So n of A intersection B is equal to 0. Therefore, probability of A given B is equal to n of A intersection B by n of B. So 0 by n of B means 6, 0 by anything is 0. So it is impossible event. They don't have any common. So there is no question of getting probability of A given B. So with this, see, this is how I have given means explained to you how, why you will get number of sample points like this. That you should know. Simply I can tell you 6 into 2, 12. 6 are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into 2, 10. Plus 3 into, how many are there? 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. So here 10 plus 6, 16. I can say directly. But you cannot understand. How got 16? So that is the reason I tell you. When a die is rolled, 3 will come. Next again a die will roll. If I rolled a die, then he will call 6 chances here. So all 6 chances are this. Like that, 1 comes means head and tail, 2 comes means head and tail, 4 comes means head and tail. So total number of sample points I wrote here. Then you can understand if any new problem is given also, you can able to get it. Okay, my dear students, we have completed the conditional probability concept of in first term. This is first case problem. The exercise 13.1 is completely we discussed about that. Okay, let us move to the next point. I hope that you understood this one, this concept. I hope that you do practice once again. 100% you can remember it without any problem. Without any problem you can do it. Do all your examples as well as what the problems which I taught you. If you do, then you won't have any confusion and you will love to do these problems once again. Okay. my dear students, let us move to the next concept now. Okay, what is the next concept? We'll see. That is called multiplication theorem on probability. Next concept is what means multiplication theorem on probability. That's all. See now, there are the two theorems which you have to remember in this probability. That is, one is multiplication theorem, the other one is Bayes theorem. Remember this. Whenever you want to do multiplication theorem, we have to write conditional probability definition. My dear students, remember this. After writing the conditional probability definition, continuation of multiplication theorem will be there. Whenever Bayes theorem you have to prove, total probability statement, total probability theorem you have to prove, continuation Bayes will be there. These two, if you remember, happy. So, conditional probability, multiplication theorem. Total probability, Bayes theorem, like that. Okay. Now, already we know conditional probability. What is conditional probability? Given, already I had told you definition. That definition, once again you write it here. Okay, na? In a sample space, if E comma F are two events such that probability of E and probability of E is not equal to 0 and E comma associated with S, then P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F, provided P of F is not equal to 0, already which I given in statement. Like that. That you have to write first. By the definition of conditional probability only, we will proceed to the multiplication theorem. Okay. Now, so this multiplication theorem on probability. So I'll read here. You see, we know that the conditional probability of event E, given that F is an occurs. So that's why what I'll write here. Whenever you want to do multiplication theorem, I'll write multiplication theorem. Okay. So multiplication theorem. Multiplication theorem, first of all, what you should write? One statement you have to write. Right? I'll tell you statement. What is that? Statement. Statement. What is that statement? Let E comma F are two events. Let E comma F are two events in a sample space S. In a sample space. In a sample space S. Such that P of E is not equal to 0 and P of F is not equal to 0. So first of all, we should explain what is events. If E and F are two mutually exclusive events, not necessary, it may be possible also, that's why we won't say that. Let E comma F are two events in a sample space S, such that P of E is not equal to 0, P of F is not equal to 0, then the statement only we are writing, then P of E1 intersection, E intersection F, you can say like anything, E intersection F only we can say, what is that? In P of E intersection F is equal to P of F into P of E given F, P of F into P of E given F, condition 1, P of F into P of E given F, also P of E into P of F given E, both are there, both are there. So I can write, otherwise I will write like this. Then P of E1 intersection E intersection F is equal, that is F. Both statements are there. P of F into P of E given F, P of E into P of F given E. That is called the statement. So this is what basing on the conditional probability. Correct only, na? So this is the statement. When multiplication theorem you ask means, we should write one proforma there, no? This proforma is this. First multiplication theorem, next statement, What is the statement? Let E comma F are two events in a sample space S such that P of E is not equal to 0 and P of F is not equal to 0. Then P of E intersection F is equal to P of F into P of E given F and P of E into P of F given E. That is the statement we should write first. Okay. Next, after the statement, how to prove? That is occurred. I will write proof now. I will write proof here. Proof by the definition of conditional probability. By the definition of conditional probability. By the definition of conditional probability of E given F is equal to probability of E intersection F by probability of F. Not all enough. By the definition of conditional probability. Here, by the definition of instead of by the definition of conditional, if you write the definition, is better. So you write the definition of conditional probability. By using the definition of conditional probability, write that one. And P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F. This implies, now you cross multiply it. How much? P of E intersection F is equal to P of F into P of E given F over comma P of, otherwise P of F cannot be equal to 0 because denominator. That is in denominator. Probability of E intersection F is equal to P of F into P of E given F. Again, P of F given E. P of F given E is nothing but P of E intersection F by P of E. And here also P of E not equal to 0 and P of E intersection F is equal to P of F intersection E. Both are same. That's why I wrote F intersection if you write, E intersection if it doesn't matter. That's why I wrote here. Again, this implies you cross multiply. P of E intersection F is equal to P of E into P of F given E. Say this is equation 1. Say this is equation 2. From you write here conclusion from 1 and 2. From 1 and 2, what you will write now? From 1 and 2, P of E intersection F is equal to set off. What is 1 you write? This one you write now. 1 means this is P of F into P of E given F. P of E into P of F given E over. That's all. That is the theorem. Multiplication theorem is what? 5 marks will get it. Suppose you ask means. Very rarely they will ask multiplication theorem because everybody will write. But nothing is there. Only pro forma you should learn. Like that, right? Cross multiply by the definition of conditional probability, right? Cross multiply, say 1 and 2 together again you write. So what is given? Right? Repeatedly writing. So that's why very rarely they will ask you this one. Okay? But anyhow, we must be ready with this. If easy also sometimes we cannot do. That's why I told you this. I think my dear students, you can note down this and write like this only when multiplication theorem when you are asked. So this result is nothing but the multiplication theorem. Okay. Now let us move to the multiplication theorem in the case when they are independent events. Okay, afterwards will come. First let us see multiplication theorem. Please note down this. We will go to the next point, extension of this. Okay, na? My dear students, I think you understood? Yes, correct. Now let us move to the next step. So shall I wrap it up? Yes. So now you may get doubt, sir, you said there are E comma F in a sample space 2 events. It means multiplication theorem only can be provided for 2 events in a sample space. More than that is there, we cannot apply the multiplication theorem. It's not like that. See, whenever n of A union B theorem will say, what will say? N of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. Again down what will write? This will be continued for n of A union B union C also. Like that, here also same like that only. Okay na? My dear students, you see that. So here also I want to tell like that only. So when events are 3 are there, how to write? What is the condition? Multiplication theorem step. So if I show once, it will be easy for you. That's why let me write here. First let me rub, then I can write. Okay, anyhow. Now, multiplication theorem, rule of probability, more than 2 events. For example, if E, F and G are 3 events of a sample space, if E, F and G are 3 events in a sample space, in a sample space S, sample space S, okay, in a sample space S. If E, F and or G are 3 events in a sample space S, then what is the intersection? I means probability of E intersection F intersection G is equal to. So P of E intersection F means already we wrote P of E into P of F given E, like that we wrote. Now P of E intersection F intersection G. So now how to write? Now we should know first. First you write P of E. What is first noun? That you write here. To remember, how to remember, I am giving clue. Now I write first E, P of E. Next into P of, here is E. Here E intersection of first 2 events are there. That you take the first 2 events and write P of F given E. P of F given E, F given E. First P of E into P of F given E. Multiplication theorem is there, that only we wrote. P of E intersection F. What is the multiplication theorem? P of E into P of F given E. Nothing I wrote extra. P of E intersection of what is the theorem is there, that I wrote first. Okay. Next what I am going to write is P of into probability of G given E intersection F. That's all. So first P of E, next F, P of F given E, next P of G given this. This is one now. These two only I am. Now this is considering as E. This is in F. F given E. That's what F given E. How you wrote like that? F given. F means in place of F, G is there. Given means E intersection F is there. That's all. I think you understood now. So P of E into P of F given E, P of G given E intersection F. If you write, then P of E intersection F intersection G will come. This you keep as a note. Okay na? Note. Okay. Let us move to the next point. So let us move to the next point, means called independent events. Independent events. Next point. This topic is that independent events. What do you mean by independent events? In 2 ways we can say. The E and F are 2 events such that the probability of occurrence of one of them is not affected by occurrence of the other. Such events are called independent events. Here also I will write now. E and F. Okay, na? So independent events I am writing now. Definition. E and F are two events. Are two events. So neatly write notes. You need not to think about it. E and F are two events such that E and F are two events such that the probability of occurrence OCCURRENC occurrence of one of them is not affected. One of them is not affected. One of them is not affected by them. Once again, E and F are two events such that the probability of occurrence of one of them is not affected by occurrence of the other. By occurrence of the other. This is called, such events are called independent events. Okay, na? But not the other. Such events are called independent events. So, my dear students, this is the definition. So, please remember, such events are called independent events. Note down. Basing on this, one more also I will tell you. First, you note down this definition. Okay? Such events are called independent events. First, you note down this. Okay. After noting that, let us move next point. Let E and F be two events associated with the sample random space or same random experiment, what you can say like that, or E and F are associated E and F are associated are said to be, we can write like that, no problem. E and F are be two events associated. E and F are two events. Two events B, here B. Okay, my dear students, if E and F are two events B associated, E and F be two events associated, I think B better to write here, not B here. Okay, E and F B are two events associated, like that, that is correct. okay, associated with the same random experiment, 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 then E and F are said to be independent, then E and F are said to be independent, said to be independent, said to be independent if, that is the point final usage, if P of E intersection of is equal to P of E into P of F. This is a very, very, very important point to remember. My dear students, in multiplication theorem, F given E, G given E intersection, like that we wrote. The same when comes to the independent events, we said E and F are two events such that the probability of occurrence of one of them is not affected by occurrence of the other. Such events are called independent events. Or E and FB are two events associated with the same random experiment, then E and F are said to be independent if probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E into probability of F. What does it mean? Means I'll tell you. There is a box. In that box, 5 red balls are there, 4 black balls are there, for example. And I want to take 2 balls, for example, successively, one after the other. Then 5 red, 4 black balls are there in that box. First, I put my hand in it and took one ball out and noted it is a red ball, for example. Then what is the probability of, what is the chance of getting a red ball? 5 by 9, because total balls are 9, 5 red balls are there, so chance of getting a red ball is 5 by 9, nothing. Okay, I'll write temporarily here 5 by 9. 5 red balls, 4 black balls in a bag is there. Okay, now in second draw, again the ball I noted, okay, it is red ball, again I kept it inside the box only. The second ball again I want to draw, again I kept my hand, again I took a ball. What is the chance of being red? Same 5 by 9 only. Again 5 balls are there, total are there, 5 by 9. So from this what we noticed, in second event, and first event, second event, if first event is also drawing a ball, second is also drawing a ball. But the first event does not affect the second event drawing. So any one of them is not affected. That's all he is saying here. The probability of occurrence, one of them is not affected by occurrence of the other. Such events are called independent events. So it is same 5 by 9, it is 5 by 9. Then they are called independent events. Suppose in the same instance, if I don't put the first ball which are drawn red, I kept outside. What is the probability of drawing a red ball in second draw also? Because out of 5 red balls, 1 ball is drawn red, that is kept outside. So the number of balls are left over red are 4, and total number of balls out of 9, 1 will be gone, and 8. So the probability of drawing second red ball is 4 by 8. Because of first ball is kept outside, it is affected the second drawing. Therefore, such events are called dependent events, which won't affect. If you draw first of any one of the event, then they are called independent events. So to say that independent events, theoretically, how we said P of E intersection F, their intersection is nothing but their product. Probability of E into probability of F, if it is same as their intersection P of E intersection F, such events are called they are called independent events. This is very important to remember. Your second exercise totally based on this. If not, if they are not independent, what will happen? P of E intersection of F is not equal to P of E into P of F. So which is not independent means how will define? They are not equal. If it is independent means they are equal. This you have to remember in your mind. Okay, my dear students, if P of intersection of is equal to P of E into P of F, they are independent, otherwise they are not independent. Okay, let us move to the next one. Suppose three events are there. Three events A, B, C are said to be mutually independent. If, when it is possible, I will write that is also, so that we can go to the next point. So here independent events over, so this statement I will rub it off. So in independence only two as I said now also. So three are there. Then how? See now, three events A, B and C are said to be mutually independent. Three, I will write here, three events A comma B comma C are said to be mutually independent. Okay, said to be mutually independent if point 1, if P of A intersection B, if P of A intersection B, P of A into P of B, P of A intersection B, P of A into P of B. Next, second point, P of A intersection C is equal to P of A into P of C. P of A intersection P of B intersection C. Third point, P of B intersection C is equal to P of B into P of C. And finally, fourth point, P of A intersection B intersection C. A intersection B intersection C is equal to P of A into P of B into P of C. If any one of them here failed here 1 to 3, then they are not independent. If A, B, C are said to be independent, they are mutually exclusive. Say mutually exclusive means they are independent. A intersection B, P of A into P of B. But again, don't confusion, that is different, this is different. So I will tell you, P of A intersection B means P of A into P of B must be there. A intersection means their products there. B intersection also their product. If these three satisfies, then P of A intersection B intersection C is equal to P of A into P of B into P of C. Independent events means they may have common or not, that is the important first. So here is said, P of A intersection F is equal to P of A into P of F. It is, so there is common will be there. From the definition only is there. In independent events, common may be there. In mutually exclusive events, common won't be there. Intersection is fine. First, that point if you remember, you can difference between them, you can find out. Mutually exclusive and independent. Independent means their product is like this. Okay? So therefore, mutually exclusive means their intersection is fine, like that. Okay. So therefore, P of A intersection B intersection C is P of A into P of B into P of C. We can do automatically in exercise examples will come. I will tell you before going, because total theory if I see means problem bore will come. So that's why now whatever we taught in independent events, we will do some based on this some problems. We can register 100% your mind by using these points. Okay, my dear students, we will do that first. Then some more points are there, I will tell you later on. So now independent events means 2 or E comma F are said to be independent if their intersection is equal to their product. Simple. Okay. So now E comma F are mutually exclusive events means their intersection is 5. Okay. Now, here you see another point. Basing on the independent events, we'll do one more topic, exercise 13.2, and examples will show. P of A, first problem, P of A is equal to 3 by 5. Given, I'll write, given P of A is equal to 3 by 5, P of B is equal to 1 by 5, P of A is equal to 2 by 5, P of B 1 by 5. Find P of A intersection B if A and B are independent events and A comma B are independent events. Independent events. So what is given, first of all we written, given P of A, P of B, and also said that they are independent events. Whenever you heard they are independent events, immediately this implies P of A intersection B is their product, P of A into P of B. That's all, because definition we studied. Independent means their intersection must be their product. Okay. Now what is P of A? 3 by 5. What is P of B? 1 by 5. How much you are going to get? 3 by 25. So P of A intersection B is equal to 3 by 25 over. That's all. He asked you to find out P of A intersection B. P of A intersection B is how much? 3 by 25 over. That is bit number 1. Bit number 2, I will write as problem number 2 also. 2, given some examples. 2 cards are drawn at random and without replacement from a pack of 52 playing cards. Without replacement. Find the probability that both cards are black. That both cards are black. My dear students, this time now he has given pack of cards. How many cards will be there? 52. That we know very well. In that 52, what are the chances, you tell me? I think you know it, but again 52 cards will be there. There are spades, another one clubs, another one hearts, another one diamond. Correct? Huh? Here 13 cards, here 13 cards, here 13 cards, here 13 cards, 4 into 13, 52 cards. In each diamond 13 cards, ace, king, queen, jockey, 10 and so on to 2. 13 will be there. Like that here also, like that here also, like that here also. That we must be very clear in our mind. Okay. So totally how many kings will be there in 4 types are there? 4 kings will be there. Here 1 king, here 1 king, here 1 king, here 1 king. How many 2s will be there? 4 2s. How many 5s will be there? 4 5s. How many aces will be there? 4 aces. Everything is equal only. Correct or no? Now he said, 2 cards are drawn at random without replacement from a pack of 52 playing cards. Find the probability both cards are black. I will tell you. I will write here. Probability of getting which card? He said cards are black. Probability of getting a black card in first draw from a pack of cards, from a set of 52 pack of cards. Okay, this is given. Now what is the probability? Tell me. It is a black means, see now, spades are black color, clubs are black colors, diamond are red colors, hearts are red colors. So red colors are 26, black color cards also 26. So therefore first one I have to get a black means out of 26 I should get here, because clubs and spades both are black colors only. So 13 plus 13, 26. Out of 26, one card is drawing. Permutation combinations, NCR 20C1 by probability. How many pack of cards are there? 52 pack of cards. Out of 52, I am getting one card, 52C1. Simply it is nothing but 26 by 52. Let it be like this. Let it be like this. Next, what is said? He said that without replacement. Without replacement means what? The first card which are drawn, again you are keeping means with replacement. If you don't keep inside means it is called without replacement. So without replacement, if you draw, I will write here without replacement, getting, without replacement a card, getting black card once again. Black card once again. You tell me what happened now? Already you have drawn one black card in first draw. So we are not replacing. So the number of black cards will be 25 only. So therefore it is 25C1. You will get only one black card out of 25. Because already first you got it. So one black card is less. Now here out of 52, one card is drawn outside, kept outside. So 51 only is there. So 51C1. So this is nothing but 25 by 51. So total probability and the final probability. What is total probability now? Total probability is 26 by 52 into 25 by 51. Whatever simplification you do, that is different matter. So 26 by 52 into 25 by 15. Why you are doing into? Simultaneously I have seen, I kept outside, again I drawn. So this is happening simultaneously. When two events are happening simultaneously, you have to multiply. So 26 by 52 in 25 by 51. So these are called without replacement and they are called affected. It is affected. It is not independent events. This is called dependent events only when you so like that. So he is just asked what is the probability of getting both the cards are black. The probability of getting both the cards are black are 26 by 52 into 25 by 51. Whatever the value you are going to get, that is the answer. So like that, some more problems we will do in next class. In that class again we will do basing on this additional theorem, okay, multiplication theorem and extension of it. We will do it, independent events, dependent events, everything in the exercise 2. Okay, my dear students, please go through this once again and be sure that you understood everything what you have written here on your book also. Okay, thank you. We'll meet you next class.